What's the crack, everybody? Cards everywhere here, bringing you another weekly league deck profile. I was a bit light on the deck profiles last week. I did struggle quite a bit, but this week is a very high energy week, so I think we can have quite a bit of fun. So today I've gone with a World Turtle deck, using just lots of powerful cards. So it will be quite expensive to build for any newer players, but if you can build it, it will be very, very strong. So let's jump into the profile and we'll give it a game and see how we do. So first up we have a Mythic, Planet X. On the play, if your deck has 9 or fewer space cards, your space cards, wherever they are, gain 14 power permanently. And if your deck contains exactly 4 space cards, give them an additional 14 power until played. Next up we have Supermassive Black Hole. On the return, for every non-space card in your deck, give your space cards, wherever they are, plus 3 power until played. Next we have HD. At the start of a turn, this card loses 50 power until played, so we just want to play this right away when we draw it. Next up, Terminator. On the draw, this card gains 40 power permanently, and on the return, if it's the last turn of a round, this card costs -2 power permanently. Next up we have some science cards. First up, Jet Car. On the play, your cards adjacent to this card gain 80 power this turn, and then on the return, you lose 40 power for 3 turns. Next up, the Kettering Bug. On the return, your opponent's cards, wherever they are, lose 11 power for 2 turns. Next is Mount Everest. On the draw, if it's before round 3, turn 2, this card costs +1 until played, and it's after round 3, turn 2, this card costs -1 energy until played. On the play, if it's round 3, turn 2, give this card and the cards adjacent to this 45 power permanently. And last of the science is Zangi Dangxia Landforms. On the return, if you're leading by 100 power or more, a random card in your hand gains 120 power until played. Next is some Life on Land cards. First up, the World Turtle. On the play, if your deck has exactly 4 Arts and Culture cards, your Arts and Culture cards, wherever they are, gain 14 power until played, and then repeat for each album. Next up, we have Arabian Horse. This is one of the Spotlight cards, so it might be achievable to get for some of you. On the play, if you're winning the round, this card gains 100 power this round. Next is General Sherman. On the play, your opponent's cards, wherever they are, with 50 or more base power, lose 30 power this round. I think this is going to be an excellent card this week, as a lot of people are going to be playing some very, very powerful cards. And last of the Life on Land cards is Bacterian Camel. On the play, if you're trailing by 100 power or more, this card gains 55 power. And on the play, if it's the second turn of a round, this card gains another 55 power. Next we have the Arts and Culture cards. First up, Boxing. On the play, your cards with 70 or more base power, wherever they are, gain 14 power until played. Next is Chronos. On the play, your cards in hand with 5 or more base energy gain 25 power this round. And on the return, your cards wherever they are with 4 or less base energy lose 120 power until played. Next is Heimdall. On the return, if at least 6 cards in your deck are from different albums, your cards wherever they are gain 30 power this round. Next is another Mythic, the Holy Grail. On the draw, your Brilliant Human Body cards, wherever they are, gain 28 power until played, but we're just playing this card as a massive beat stick. Next is Tully Monster. On the draw, your cards, wherever they are, with 70 or more base power, gain 22 power until played, And on the return, your remaining cards in hand with 7 or more base energy cost -2 energy for 3 turns. And last up we have Decimation. On the play, if you're losing the round, a random card in either player's hand loses 300 power this turn, and it's revealed before scoring, so you can see what it's going to hit before you play it. And that's the deck, guys. I think it will perform quite well for us, so we'll jump into a game to see how it does. The deck code will be in the description, and don't forget to leave a like and leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the deck, and subscribe if you can as well. I'm very close to 100, so I would like to get there this week if possible, so it would be very much appreciated. I think this week will be quite interesting. I have a few other decks in the works. I'm trying out some superstructures and the wonders of construction cards. They're a bit weak at the moment, but I'll mess around with them to see if I can get their power up. And I'll bring them to you during the week if I do manage to get one working well enough. Alright, looks like we have found an opponent. So let's see what we can do here. So I think we'll play some of our buff cards. I think I'll play the Boxing, the Jet Car, and the Landforms to hopefully get ahead by 100. And that will give a big boost to our Landform card, a big boost to one of our cards in hand if we do manage to get 100 ahead. Unfortunately, I don't think we did it, but that's okay. Looks like the opponent is playing a Egyptian deck. I think it will be quite strong this week. There was a new card out last night, so I think they'll get quite a big boost. They didn't need it, but that's what they got. Maybe I'll try out that deck as well this week. I don't think it'll be quite as good as other weeks, as the energy is very, very high, and they don't even require that much energy to play. Looks like we drew our Mount Everest at an inopportune time. So I think I'll hold on to it until round 3 when it will be useful. But there we have it. We have the first round in the bag. There are a lot of expensive cards in this deck, so I don't think everyone will be able to make this. Nearly every card is a limited legendary or a mythic. So it is quite expensive to build. But do your best. A lot of the cards are interchangeable. So what have we got here? I think we'll play the Holy Grail, the World Turtle, and the Camel for a 4/7/6. It will put us in the lead. We do need to be losing for Decimation to work, but it's nice to have as an emergency backup. There's our Heimdall. Not the best time to draw it, so I'll put it in the first slot, so hopefully we get it around in round 4 if it does go to that. But honestly, I think we will beat them in the first 3 rounds. This deck is very, very powerful. I've come across one deck that's close to it. It plays a few different cards, but it's the same sort of concept. Just a lot of big stuff. So there's our Jet Car again. I think I will get rid of the Decimation and hold on to the General Sherman for next round. And we'll also have our Mount Everest activating next round as well, so the -40 won't matter too much. So here we go. 2 rounds in the bag already. And there's HD. So again, I'm going to play Landforms to hopefully get ahead by 100 points. Looks like we did it. So one of the random cards left in our hand will get a nice 120 power boost until played. So that is quite a massive boost. So it's nothing to scoff at, and it was Mount Everest. So I think we will have a huge turn next turn. Let's see what we draw. So we play our Planet X, the Mount Everest, and the Arabian Horse for a 703 plus the boost. So that's nearly 800. I'd say this deck could do 1,000 damage on the right turn if the game went on a bit longer and everything got a bit more boosted. But I don't think it'll be necessary. There's the Grail, there's the Camel, and the Supermassive for a 559. Way more than enough. And there is 3 rounds in a row. I believe that was a bot, so we might jump into another game to see how we do. Hopefully we get a real player. But as you can see, this deck is very, very powerful as it is. There might be some small changes to make to it. You could put Testudo Formation in here instead of Decimation. But I quite like the Decimation card. I haven't used it before, and I think it will come in handy. I suppose it's kind of like a Shinigami, just with a bit more power. So I think it'll do quite well. You could also change it up. You could maybe take out probably the arts and culture cards and maybe run a 4 history card instead. I just like the arts and culture cards. A lot of them do boost your cards. You could also stick in maybe an Ace of Swords or something like that. It would also be quite strong. But for now, I'll stick with it as it is. So here we go. Looks like we have a real player. So let's give him a hello. And we'll jump straight into it. So I think we'll play the Kronos and the Turtle and the Supermassive Black Hole for more of a boosting hand. We might be able to play the Holy Grail and Jekkar next turn. We'll see what else we draw. So it looks like the opponent is playing a space deck. We'll have to see a few more cards in the hand. So there's a nice big boost to all of our space cards when we come across them. With the high energy this week, the Holy Grail is absolutely no problem to play. So I think we will go for a fairly big hand. I think we get the Grail in front and the Tully Monster for a 6/6/8 turn. I don't think the opponent will be expecting such a big turn. We obviously could have done more with the Jekkar, but I might save it for the next round. So I'm still not sure what the opponent is playing. It might be a World Turtle deck of his own, just with some different choices in cards. I did think about putting Godzilla in here, but I think overall the Terminator is better. And HD is stronger than both. More expensive, of course, but you don't mind that. So we have Zangi Landforms, the Arabian Horse, and I think we'll get rid of the Camel. Yeah, I think that'll be enough. 4/5/3. Let's see what the Shinigami hits. Luckily, it is the weakest one. So we do get the 100 points in the lead. So the Landforms card will give one of our cards a nice big boost. It is the Jekkar, so that'll be a nice surprise on the opponent if we need it. I might just hold on to the Jekkar until it is absolutely necessary. So there is Mount Everest. Not an ideal time to draw it. So I'll stick it in the front slot. We'll play the Sherman and the Planet X for a 4/40 turn. And the Sherman is doing a lot of work. I'm still not sure what the opponent is playing. It just seems to be a good stuff deck. A lot more space cards than I would have thought. The Black Knight is an interesting card. I don't know. I might try it out in here. We'll see how it does. But for now, I'll stick with what I've got. So, I think I will play the Heimdall for a 4-16. The opponent has a Jet-Car and a Sherman of his own. But we are in the lead, so he doesn't get his full Arabian horse. And luckily, that will actually put us behind, so we'll get to use our decimation card. Of course, it is random, so we could hit one of our own cards, but I still quite like it. So let's see what it's going to hit. It is one of our own, so we will be holding on to it. I think I'll play the Jet-Car of my own for a 407 with the boost. That's a 5-6-7. So that will put us in the lead for round 2. And 2 rounds under the belt already. So the opponent's deck does seem to be mostly space focused. I do like the space cards. They're a very good set. A lot of good cards in them. But I think he will need to go heavier on the boosting if he does want to make that work. So we'll play HD and the Kronos for a 6-6-8. His cards are ramping up a bit, and he does have the arena advantage. So we'll see if we can win this round. I still think we're safe enough. But we'll see what we draw here. Oh, and there is the landforms, the Arabian horse. I would like to save the decimation, but I think I'll play it now just for the power. Let's see what Shinigami is going to hit. It is our strongest one, which is unfortunate. But I believe we are 100 ahead, so we do get the landforms boost. And it goes to Tully Monster. Let's see. So we have Sherman and Mount Everest just a little too late. I didn't really want to hold on to it. So let's see what the strongest hand we can make is 3-9-1. The opponent might be able to match that. So I think I will play the Sherman and the Tully for a 3-9-1 as well. But with the Sherman activating, it might be enough to hit the opponent. Unfortunately not. So that will put us on the back foot now for the 4th round. But we have a lot of powerful cards on the way around. So I think we'll be okay. And the opponent did use his most powerful stuff right there. So I think this arena will be a breeze. And there is the Heimdall to rub salt in the wounds. So I think we'll get that out with our strongest cards. The World Turtle is just sitting there. But I think we got its use out of it already. So we'll stick to the strongest stuff we have. There's a nice 30 power boost to all of our cards. The opponent does have the Black Knight activating. But we have our Jet-Car. I think we'll save it for the last round and use the Camel and the Kettering Bug for a 5-10. And the Kettering Bug will weaken all of his cards by 11 power for 2 turns. Hopefully that will be enough to keep us in the lead. And we'll see if we need the Jet-Car next turn. I'd say the opponent might draw his own Jet-Car. But it doesn't matter because we drew Holy Grail and HD. So I believe this will be enough power to win this round. Unless the opponent has something amazing to pull out. Not enough, I'm afraid. So 7-9-8. And a 4th round win So there we have it, folks. As you can see, the deck is very powerful. If you can build it, I'm sure it'll get you quite high in the ranks. And stay tuned for more decks during the week. Hope you all enjoyed. Cards Everywhere out.